everybody, welcome back to my studio. I just thought I would show you briefly. In the last one you noticed I was in the midst of a couple of paintings, and here they are finished up. I'll be starting a class in a couple of weeks on an introduction to mixed media, or at least my way of doing mixed media. There are quite a few. So if you go to my website, alicearlene.com, you can sign up for my newsletter, and in the welcome email will be a link to the PDF file of the recommended supply list, so you can kind of paint along with me. So I thought tonight I would just briefly talk about my paints that I use. These are the ones that I typically use. You do not need to have them this large. I purchased these larger tubes when I was doing classes. So, and of course I do quite a bit of painting. So these are the acrylic Liquitex heavy body paints that I prefer to use. That's kind of basically what I got started with. So that's what I like to use. That's certainly your choice. I do recommend a professional grade. So, but what the main thing you're wanting to look for is, let me get the camera to focus on it there. You want to look for transparent paint. If you have the transparency, then you can get the multiple layers without them getting muddy or without losing a lot of the texture and things underneath the paint. So the colors that I use, typically I don't deal with generally a wide palette. I like to stick with a simple palette. So I use ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson, so that's red. And then for the yellow I use transparent raw sienna. So those are kind of my primary colors that I stick with. And then for brown I use burnt umber. And then for green I use either Hooker's Green or Viridian. I might have gotten those mixed up. So so you can, and mainly you can kind of get a good nice orange, you can get a nice violet by mixing the colors, but it's kind of difficult to get a decent green or a decent brown. For me anyways, they tend to get kind of muddy. So these are the paints that I typically use. Other options for you would be, and this would be more the size tube that will last you a good long while. So they can be kind of pricey to get started. But that's also partly why there's the advantage of sticking with the limited color palette. So a couple of other options that are less expensive, Liquitex makes a basics, and that sticks with just the primary, and you can flip that over on the back, and hopefully you can see that. So, and you can see the little box that's kind of half covered in, so that means that it's kind of transparent, so they call it translucent. So it's not completely opaque, but it's not completely transparent either. Master's Touch, you can tell I got that at Hobby Lobby, also makes a pretty good brand. I've not used it a great deal. I did this more for a kid's thing, so I was looking for the brighter colors than I typically use. So, and they use an opaque instead of transparent or translucent. So, but again, the box is only half covered in, so that means that it is partially transparent. So that's kind of what you're looking for. Another brand that most of my artist friends really like are Golden Liquid fluid acrylics. So, and these are more the consistent, you can kind of hear, I don't know if you can hear it shaking up in there, they're a lot more diluted already, and you can tell that this is quite transparent. They have that little swipe over the 3 bars, and if you're looking in the shop, you'd be able to see that some of the paints nearly completely obscure those 3 black bars. So again, if you want to try the Goldens, they're a great brand. I have nothing against them. Like I said, I just got started with the thicker heavy body paints, and so that's what I'm used to. So that's what I tend to stick with. So so anyways, in my supply list that you can get on my website, I do make mention, I've never tried this technique with your regular just craft paint. So I do dilute the paint quite a bit, which definitely increases the transparency. So if that's what you have on hand and you want to give that a try, by all means, you can do that. So anyways, I don't want to talk your ear off tonight. So another evening, I'll talk about some of the other items on the list. Hope y'all are having a great day. Bye-bye.